Sources say that Joe Pavelski really wants to talk to the media today. Has he been cleared to play this game tonight?
Yeah. No, game time decision. So we'll see he's out there again for morning skate. Things look promising, but we'll decide tonight when we get to the rink.
This is just a weird featurey angle, but you guys had a bit of a power play slump earlier in the season. What did you do to get out of it? Because it seems like it really worked at the time, and then you guys have been on a roll kind of since. But I mean, it seemed like almost a month where it really was a struggle.
Yeah. Well, to be honest with you, I think what we did was we didn't listen to you guys and change everything, or panic, or we stuck with our groups and let them work themselves through it, and they did that. So, that's probably the easiest, simplest answer.
Was it a key point of the season, just in staff and players getting together?
Yeah, I mean, over a season, every area you have is going to have ups and downs and struggles, and you want a consistency there, and it's important to recognize, is this one of those season slumps that or is there a foundational problem or a personnel problem that really needs to be changed? So I think that's what we work through in the coaching room.
Do you have to guard against just a little thought of, hey, we dodged a bullet, we don't have to go to Colorado, we're playing this other team, and we got home ice advantage?
Maybe, but I don't think so with our group. I mean, if you read what Nathan McKinnon and Rantanen and some of those guys said about the Seattle series, how tough it was, how good they were, how fast they were, how much pressure they put on them, I think our guys are aware that you don't go through the Stanley Cup champion unless you've got a real good game, and we know that. So.
And along those lines, if you're playing McKinnon and Makar, you know how you want to match up there. This team, you talked about all the diversity of their scoring. How does that change when you're home and trying to match up?
Yeah. Well, again, we want to dictate whether we're playing Colorado or Seattle. We're not a big matchup team. We want to get our game going. We want to get into our four-line rhythm. I think, it's a little bit easier because Seattle plays a similar game. So, it probably is a little easier to get into that against a team like that.
Hey, Pete, can you comment on 4 days off compared to just 2 for them and the importance of maybe a hot start for you guys?
Yeah. Well, I mean, rest is critical at this time of year. It's the old line of rest versus rust. I think it's the right amount of time for us. I feel good. I think we filled the tanks. We're coming out. If Pav can go tonight, and we'll decide at game time, then we're coming out healthy, which is huge this time of year. But, our conversations have been around, we started slow game 1 against Minnesota, lost in double overtime, and then really it took us to game 5 to kind of get the series back in our control. So we want to avoid that. You want a quick start. You want to grab the series as quickly as you can, and, that's something we want to fix this time around.
A couple questions related. The second power play doesn't get a lot of shine just because the first power play is so good. How do you, as a coach, how do you balance that in terms of, they don't always get their rhythm. They only sometimes just get the last 30 seconds or something like that on that.
Yeah. Well, you're right, but they're a critical piece for us too. And no bigger example than Tyler Seguin jumping up to the first unit when Joe Pavelski goes down. I mean, those guys, not only do they have to execute, with the time they get, but they have to be able to jump in if someone goes down, if there's an injury, if one of our power play guys is in the penalty box, our first unit guys. So, they've got a lot of different roles they fill there for us and are critical. And, that power play, our power play against Minnesota in the first round with Pavelski out, didn't miss a beat because of Sagan's ability to jump into that spot.
And then related to that, Thomas Harley, I think at one point in Minnesota you gave him the second unit. Just with his age and with his experience, are you careful about how much you're putting on him? Is there a chance that he does elevate to a power play option for you?
Yeah, I mean, he has those abilities. I think, again, I think that's more long-term, but we wanted to make sure that you never know what's going to happen. You get one injury to a certain guy, all of a sudden, he's a real option. And if he hasn't played on one since he was in the American League, a month ago, that's a problem. So, I wouldn't read too much into the fact he got one, but, he has those abilities and he's an option for us if we need him for whatever reason.
Pete, on a lighthearted note, I heard that you got some really good coaching advice from Elliot Friedman for the first round, and just wondering if you reached out for the second round for some more sage advice.
Yeah, I think my response to Elliot was stay in your lane, but I think all of us coaches at the NHL level enjoy all the expert opinions on what we're doing up here on a nightly basis. So the more the better.